Hello, I'm Melissa Fago, Creative Memories Advisor, and today I'm going to show you our noteworthy Simple Kit number 11. And if you haven't seen Simple Kits before, we have had them all year long. This is actually our second year. We have got confirmation they're going to continue on to next year. They come out once a month and they tend to have a theme for that month, whatever the holiday is or the time of year is. They're a lot of fun. They're very easy. You can easily get 24 pages done in your album like that. They're great beginner class. We have a special kit just for beginner classes that coordinate with these kits. So you could end up with 26 pages. Got to do quick math these days. And then we have another special one that would actually give you 28 pages. Let me get you started and show you how these work. I'm also going to be showing you another version of this. So this is what I like to do at my classes. So in your kit, you get your direction sheet. You get your two base sheets, and some people do like to get a second one of these because they want to use the back. Isn't that pretty? As paper or mats on other pages. Plus you can use your mat page and your other pieces, and then you get your cut apart piece that is cut by number. So you use our fabulous trimmer. And in case you were not aware, we have the best 12-inch trimmer out there. And what you do is you line your trimmer up on your mat. So our trimmer has a mat that has the little dotted lines. So whatever the big number is at the top, that's the line that it's going to be cutting on. This is an extra strip that I've actually already used. Unfortunately, it's not showing, but it has definitely been used and raised. It's a self-healing mat, but you know, when any self-healing mat, when you cut in the same place, it gets worn. So this mat can actually be replaced 4 times. I think you can see real good in this one where it's been cut very well. And I just started using number 4 actually, and it cuts like butter. So use your black line as a start, but every now and then that's not like exact. And I'm actually not going to cut this one up because I have cut one up, but I'm just showing you on here. And so use your little guides, and they hide. They hide in the bottom and the top of your trimmer. And so if you see here, this was hidden up here. And I've had people say, I don't have them because they're clear. And you really do just have to stick that fingernail in there and pull that out. And so you can see down here where it's not quite as straight. So I can slide it over, get it just straight, and then I'm going to cut. Now, I will tell you that I have started on these when I have changes in the color of the paper. So I wouldn't really care. Well, this one, we're not cutting any of this. I'm not going to care as much on these in here, actually, would be it. And I would turn it over and cut on those lines, but the same thing can be done on your color. So I'm going to bring my color over here and I'm going to slide this over to make sure that it is right on that line where I want it to cut. And so can you see that really good? Let's see. See that where I can see right where it's going to cut? So if I feel like that's not good, I can shift the paper. If I feel like it's good, then I know that I can cut straight down this page. All right. And then I would turn it over to then, actually I would cut this line on the side and then I would turn it over to cut these lines. Just a little trick. I'm a little particular. And then the last piece that comes as part of your kit is your stickers. So you'll see in your directions, the full directions for everything you need. So it shows you your cut paper, it shows you how to cut it, and then it shows you where it goes. And this one's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. I'm going to show you the finished cut. And then I'm going to show you how to take this idea to another set of another collection that you might be working with. So, ta-da! Oh, I love it. All right, let's see. Hey, there we go. So you get the finished look, which is beautiful. And so you um, you know, whatever. And maybe you like some of it, part of it, another part of it, you know, whatever. So I'm going to show you how to take this and convert it to another collection. And I'm actually going to use gingerbread. And what I like to do is pull the collection out, see what papers it has, and then, you know, like, do I like this side? And if I like this side, which piece would it work best for? And do I like this side? And do I like this side? You know, and do I like this together? Do I like this together? You know, which sides do I like? So I start in this beautiful paper. I have really bright light. I'm not sure why we're having such a hard time today, but the pains of there we go. All right. So isn't this gorgeous? So this is one of those where I would cut and I would show you a different thing, and I probably will on another video on how to use this one fully, how to use the whole sheet and be able to enjoy all of it. So what I chose with this one are these three. So, and there's more to this collection. I just didn't pull them all out to show you. So you have lots of choices, and there may be other colors that you like together. But what I think I really like are this as this base piece, the greens right here, and then this red is going to be my piece across. Now I am going to build on cardstock. So I'm going to build all of this on caramel. Okay. So the caramel will end up being all of my base piece. I'm not going to do this piece. If I was doing this right in my album, I might would have cut my caramel to be a frame, and this would be my album page to get that other sheet. But right now we're going to use caramel as most all of the base, and then we're just going to add these top pieces. And this is so easy. So we'll start with our top red piece. And our 12-inch mats are amazing. I'm not sure if you noticed. I love having them two taped together because I work in double page spreads. So this way I can do both sheet pages, you know, and have my mat. So this piece is the most easiest piece, and I'm going to need both of my reds for this because this is so wide. So however you want to mark, you know, the one starts down here. I like to not have to think real hard, and actually I am going to be able to get both out of this. So this is 6 inches. So can you see the 6-inch mark right here? So I'm lining this paper up just to see what it is, and it's of course 6 by 12. And that means that this one is 6 inches. And I'm going to then look here and see where it goes. And of course it's backwards. So now you got to do your math. So it's 8 inches because there's 4 left and it was out of 12. If you don't want to have to do that, your one starts here, slide this over, and then you'll see that it's at 8 inches. And I think if I'd have done it down here, I could have seen the 8. So it's reverse. So just know that it's there, and 12 minus whatever numbers up there. If you don't feel like it's 4 inches, you know this isn't 4 inches. So easy peasy, you know, math. I like math. So all right, so I need a 6 by 12 and a 6 by 8. So the easy thing is I'm going to take and open my arm and put my little foot down. I want to show you that. My little foot down. He sits like this. I'm opening my little foot. That's an automatic thing when I open this arm. And I'm going to line this up to 6 inches, and that's so that it lays flat for you while you're cutting. And this paper doesn't matter. I might, if I was saving any of this for another side, want to make sure that I cut it so that what anything left will go the right way. So I am going to turn that. This side doesn't matter. So I'm going to line this up at 6 inches. And I am going to cut. See how smooth? Like butter, like butter. All right, and then this one only needs to be 8 inches. And there's a couple things you can do with this, which is really fun, is I don't need to go to 8 inches on here. I can go to that 4 inches to cut the 4 inches off, so I can close my arm back and do that math again to cut it off so that it becomes 8 inches is what's left. And I mentioned, oh, I will probably mention this every video, but I am pretty particular, so it takes me just a little second. So I do have a little extra piece, and it looks like it could go like this for a mat. And then you're only going to see a little bit of the words around the edge, or now I have red mat because it is 4 by 6. How about that? I should have known that math. Duh. All right, but that's how I check it also. All right, so that gave me these 2 pieces. I'm going to lay them to show you. Pretty cool. All right, how easy was that? All right, then I need to figure out how big these pieces are, and I'm going to need 4 of them. If you remembered from the sample, we need 4 of them, and that's out of this green paper, is what I decided. So with that, you do the same thing. I just take it down here and I see that it's 1 inch, and I know I've covered it up here. You could do this before you cut them and cover them up, but I know that that line is, you know, basically right there. You can eyeball that it's 1 inch, and then it is again, oh, this is 6 inches. So it's going right here to the 6 inch mark. So I know, and if you want to put it all the way up so you can see. So I need 1 by 4, 1 by 6 inches. So the easiest way to do that is going to be to open your arm. You could leave it open if you know you're cutting all these pieces all at one time. And then this one doesn't matter on the pattern, I don't feel like. So I'm going to cut 2 1-inch strips. And this way, and I like to cut, for some reason, I love my 1 inches on this side. It gives a nice flat space for my paper to lay better when I'm cutting such a small piece. So I need 2 1-inch strips. Then I'm going to put them together. So I'm holding them both together. And in this case, we're just cutting them off at 6 inches. So I'm just going to hold them together and then cut both of them at 6 inches. So now, very easily, I got my 4 1-inch strips, right? And I'm going to leave that arm out for now, just in case. So now these go here. And if I don't like I don't like those candy canes looked upside down. So, you know, just figure out how you like to lay them. I don't feel like this one mattered. And now I'm seeing some gingerbread men sideways, but I think that'll be okay. I'll be able to live with that. I'm just going to make them all go the same direction. How's that? And I do like mixing them instead of, if you don't, because you can see that this is where you cut, you could make them match. And I think because of what they are, I'm okay. This one must, I don't see that gingerbread. So if you don't really care, you can mix and match them. Or if you do care, then you can make sure that they match going across. And I liked it either way. It didn't bother me, as particular as I am. Pretty cool? All right, that's step 2. And I don't want to lose these. So now this one, I did choose to cut this way. And if you've looked in your when you got this piece, you got, this is actually built onto the page, sorry. That's actually built onto. So I didn't have to do anything to get that. But on this side, we need a frame of it here. And then on this side, we just need the little strips. So I'm going to cut it in the little strips. And I had decided, see if we still like it. If I lay this, I like doing this. And now, this is going to go here. And then that's going to go there. And I didn't pick these up together either. So this is what you're going to see. And I decided I liked the stripes going this way. But you also have where they could go this way. And let's see, now that I have the pieces cut the right dimensions, which way? I still think I like them going. And then the side goes down. So either way is going to be fine. It'll be just your personal preference. But on one side, you only need small pieces. And so I don't need to cut a whole big mat to go behind it, like I probably will do for this side, so I can conserve my paper. So I can see, I slide that up to the top, that it is double landing here. So it's a 1.5 inch strip. So that's going to be 2 1.5 inch wide. And then they're 5 inches long. Okay, can you see that? I know that's probably hard to see. At least I can't see because I'm on. So, and then we're going to try to see if I can remember these numbers on both sides. So on this side, I'm going to do it from the bottom. So we know that it's 1.5 inches wide, and then it is 7 inches long. So this needs, actually, I'm going to do this 7 inches wide by 11 inches tall, so that it goes all the way around, just to make it easy. You could cut a frame out of it to save paper if you'd like. It would get you a couple more mats maybe. So 1.5 by 5s, and then 7 by 11. That is easy because 7 and 5 is 12. So if you could do one of two things, you can go to your 5, like if you didn't have your arm out, and you can go to your 5, make sure it's lined up right, cut. Another thing I might have done if I'd really thought it, because this only needs to be 11, I would have gone ahead and cut my 1/2 inch off so that I put 7 by 11. So I would have cut this 1 inch off so that I got a full 1 inch strip of this that I could use later too. But now I've got small strips, so I keep some of these strips while I'm working with a collection, and then after I'm done, I don't keep them any longer. So this guy is now going here, and I did cut it the wrong way, so that's okay. See, it's not going to matter. You could, again, choose which way you want to cut it, and when you go to cut, make sure that you're careful on which way you want it to go. So these were 1.5 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and keep my lines going the same direction. And I'm going to cut them at 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. Still have quite a bit here left. All right. So lots of extra, even with what we have been cutting. All right. So now I'm going to build and show you one at a time. That's not hiding. So we're going to show you this page on the side, and I'm going to make this page this side. So I have my base paper. And this is another thing I like my lines for on my mat, because I can see where it is? It's about a 1/2 inch down. So if I want to copy it exactly, I can put that 1/2 inch there, which means it's also a 1/2 inch from the bottom. So I can line that up there. And then I need 2 of these, and I am going to be that particular to make sure that they match, because I did do that a while ago. Like I said, it really didn't matter, but a little bit. So something's not right. There we go. So we're gonna remember that these go this way, and I'm gonna set them right there. So keep hiding them. And then in the middle goes our very long piece. Pretty cool. And so I'm gonna go ahead and tape that down. Our repositionable tape runner is my all-time favorite. Just turn everything over. And if you like, I probably would do it this way. I really do just use a little bit in all little pieces of mine, but I love getting the tape on everything. And I'm going to tape here. And got my little cart up there. And so again, this was, I'm going to show you it, the opposite. I'm going to tape it down the opposite of what I laid it down, but 1/2 inch, and then that went there, right? So we're starting at 3 inches, which we should have known if that's the center. So I'm actually gonna get this in here first so that I can build from there and make sure everything attaches. All right. I just flip them right back over. I touch the tape to find how to get it to pick up. This is great. If I, repo is if I don't feel like it lines up, I can lay it down like this and then say, oh, I need to move it, and use my little tool because that really went down too good. Get your tool, lift it back up, line it back up. This is our multi-purpose tool. I had a group of customers that used to call it the I gotta have it all. I gotta have it tool. Sorry, I gotta have it all. I do have to have it all. But I gotta have it tool, which I thought was my favorite. So repo lets you move things around for a long while, but it does keep everything down and straight and pretty. How's that? So can you see the two? The difference is this piece here, but it still gives you a very similar look. All right. And then now we're going to build this side. We have some really pretty beige that you could put there, but like I said, I might even would cut my frame and then put this down on my scrapbook page. And I don't have to have the, I was going to say, where's my page? So this one's a little bit easier. Fortunately, the back did not matter. Used most all of this. Another thing, and so it's a 1/2 inch. You need to line it up with that page. Line it up on your mat so that you can line it up at the 1/2 inch at both and make sure it's just centered how you want it. Get it straight on the edge. Pretty cool. Pretty easy. Now this I do like to just make sure everybody got cut the way they're supposed to be cut and got laid out the way they're supposed to be laid out. So I will put these guys together and, oh yeah, see that did not, I'm probably not gonna like that. That would be another reason to go the other direction. Let's see, and so make sure this is straight. And again, this is 2 different halves, and so it's not going to be perfect. And then we're going to flip these guys over. I'm going to go back and play with these. Maybe not all of them. So this guy goes down here because I knew mine. All right. And then this is all good. We don't really need to lay them. Let me see if neither one of these line up. So I might, because I have so much to play with, be that extra to see, if I can get this to line. That's the opposite. That's funny. But to see if I can get these to match a little better. It may not really matter once we finish and get all our decorations on, and they'll be separated, enough from page to page, but I love it. I love, love, love it. So isn't that pretty? That turned out good. And then I wanted to show you, so they used a sticker. They used a 12-inch border sticker, and I actually laid that across and then cut it down the middle so that it was right. But what I like to do is show you how you can change that up. So you can, and it's between these two, so you can use a border punch. And I thought the gingerbread would be a really great border punch to add to this. And so I also colored on it with our jelly roll pen. This is a white jelly roll pen. And so it does really good on your pages, on your darker pieces of paper. And this one is a great one because you can decorate your gingerbread any way you want to, but any of the white you see on there works really great showing it off, as well as I use the new rhythm punch to punch the bottom border. I mean, to cut this off of the page so that I could do that little ripple for the ground. Isn't that cute? So I could put this here, and that's why this probably won't matter there. And cut this off right here in the middle after I tape it down. And you could also do another one at the bottom and do it reverse. Let's see, goes here. So you could bring it up some so that some of the green is showing through it. You could bring it up to the edge, but you also could put this here, and then with gingerbread, we have stickers. So with our stickers, I was going to use a border sticker just like in the other one across the bottom. So I could use the icing. Since we have gingerbread house, I could use these cute little houses. They're going to take up a little less space and aren't as busy. So I could coordinate it with that. So yeah, so there's lots of choices as far as that goes, using your stickers. And then I'm going to embellish and fill in these spaces. And if you recall, when you looked at this, it showed you how your pictures are go. So these are 3.5 by 5.5 photos that will lay across here. And so I'll leave room on here for the same thing. So watch for the finished product on my page. I will post the pages when they're done. I will be doing this in the class next, and so after the class, you'll get to see all of this. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun seeing how you can convert one of our simple pages into your own page with another collection. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you again for watching and have a great day. Bye.